Hey, I'm Lyndall, and welcome back to Monday Mindfulness Expanded. This week's affirmation is, I listen to my body's wisdom, and the thought pattern is, my physical sensations are messengers, not enemies. So let's dive in. For much of my life, I played the role of the rescuer. I would put everyone else first, my friends, my family, my colleagues, even when it was to my own detriment. I thought that's what strength looked like, being endlessly available for others and helping them out and, getting them through a tight spot. But eventually it caught up with me. My body said enough. I became really sick, and suddenly I had no choice but to stop and listen. And for the first time, I had to put my own body first and my health, because I literally couldn't keep pushing myself. And that moment taught me something vital. My body had been trying to speak to me all along. I just hadn't been listening. We're taught to override our bodies. There's all those sayings out there like push harder, be selfless, hustle, power through it. But our bodies are never the enemy. They're the messengers. Every ache, every bout of fatigue, every knot of tension, it's information for us. But when we ignore these signals, they escalate. A little whisper becomes a shout. And if we still don't listen, the body finds a way to just stop us in our tracks. And you know what? Listening doesn't mean spiraling into fear every time something hurts. It means approaching sensations with curiosity, asking our bodies, what are you telling me? Because tiredness might just be a call that you need to rest. Pain might be asking for you to be gentle with yourself. Anxiety might be a nudge that, a boundary's being crossed and a need is not being met. Even positive signals like butterflies in the stomach, they can be messengers. They tell us when something matters, when something excites us, when we're on the edge of growth. Back when I was that rescuer trying to save everyone else, I ignored my body until it forced me to stop. And that was a wake-up call. But more recently, I've had moments where I choose to listen, listening to my body. I notice when my energy dropped after, hanging out with certain people or certain conversations, or when my body tensed before saying yes to something that I really didn't want to do. Instead of overriding it, I tried to honor it. Not always though, guys. I'm human just like you are. And I still slip back into old patterns of self-sabotage, especially when it comes to helping others at the cost of myself. But now I notice it sooner. And I'm learning to come back to my body instead of abandoning it. And that's all we can do, right? Is the best we can do in each moment. Let me put something in a deeper reflection layer to you. What if your body has always been your greatest ally? What if the sensations you feel aren't random inconveniences, but your body's trying to tell you where you're off track, where you're out of alignment with your soul? I hear so many people talk about their body as if it's separate from who they are. I've done this too. And it's kind of like it's disconnected. Things like, oh, this body is failing me, or this body won't cooperate. But what if we stopped treating our body as something separate and started seeing it as inseparable from our soul? What if we treated our body and soul as one, and we listened for the wisdom, not just the symptoms? Imagine the trust you could build if you began responding to those signals instead of shutting them down. Imagine the healing that could come from just recognizing your body as your soul's first language. So this week, I would love you to try this. Once a day, pause and ask your body a simple question. What do I need right now? And don't overthink it. Maybe it says rest, maybe it says water, maybe it says stretch, maybe it says some joy. Just give it the chance to answer. Even if it's small, act on it. That's how you build trust with your body, by showing you're willing to listen. So if this resonated, come find me on Instagram at IamSteppingIntoMe and tell me what's one way your body has spoken to you recently. And did you listen? I'd love to hear more. See you next time, beautiful humans.